Justin Bradford, penalty box ready with a PBR quick hit, and really excited to welcome on this guest, goaltender Devin Cooley, freshly signed by the Nashville Predators organization. Devin, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I guess we'll just start off real quick with what are your emotions in terms of signing this deal and knowing that you're going to be able to play pro hockey?
Oh man, I mean, obviously it's a dream come true. I think I've been playing hockey for 18 years now, and it's a dream I've had since I was a little kid. So these past few days have been just a whirlwind of emotions, of just excitement, and couldn't be more happy to join such an amazing organization with Nashville.
And obviously some good goaltenders coming in from Nashville and some homegrown talent as well. And so University of Denver, really just looking at your numbers right here too, really impressive for college hockey. I mean, we all know that some numbers don't always look the best in college hockey, even though goaltenders can be absolutely phenomenal. But especially in the year 18-19, to have a 1.85 and a 9.34 save percentage, really impressive. What helped make you so successful at Denver?
Oh man, I mean, you got to give credit to the Denver hockey program. It's such an amazing program, and we have a very good team every single year, and they do a pretty good job of making my job pretty easy. But basically, just you just try to work as hard as you possibly can. You try to be a student of the game, um, and that's pretty much all there is really to it. The rest of the team does the work, and then you make the saves when you need. And yeah, we have a lot of success every year, and again, just a really great program.
Yeah, Denver, one of those programs that's always talked about in terms of college hockey and being very, very good at the game as well. So, what was your experience overall like being at Denver?
Oh man, that was. I mean, I talked about a dream come true coming signing with Nashville, but it was a dream come true too when I committed to Denver. That was my dream school growing up, and it's closer to home for me being from California, and it's such an amazing program. Great coaches. I loved all my teammates. And those 3 years what I spent there were definitely the best 3 years of my life so far. I just can't say enough good things about that program and what they do and what they stand for and the success that I had there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really just care about the program so much. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, especially those are really formative years, especially as you're getting ready to go pro. What at that Denver helped you in terms of growing your game, and not just in terms of on the ice, but mentally, psychologically, things like that? What did Denver do and the coaches there do to just to help you continue to grow and mature?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, playing college hockey is a total different beast because you're going to school full time while trying to juggle a schedule with Division 1 athletics. So I think for me, growing as a person, living on my own and with roommates and stuff, you have to learn how to cook for yourself. You have to learn how to have really good time management. You got to learn how to study for exams, and you got to learn to take accountability for yourself and put your own schedule into your own hands and have some professionalism. So I think the 3 years that I spent there really helped me grow into an adult and figure out how to live on my own and get into routines that I knew worked for me with time management, responsibility, everything like that. On the ice, it's just that the players there are so talented, the coaches there are so talented, and they're very supportive, and everyone's focused on development and being part of a team and being part of a winning culture. And I think that also really helped because I got to be a part of a winning team and a winning program and understand
Hmm.
what it takes to be a winning program and everything like that. We all the guys, they hold each other accountable. Everyone's working as hard as they possibly can, and not just for themselves, but to help win as much as possible and bring home a national championship.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean Denver's definitely known for being competitive like that. Now let's take a big step back now to basically kind of when you're getting your start in really competitive play and playing Tier One, playing AAA hockey with San Jose, the Junior Sharks, 16U, 18U, and really good numbers there as well. So it shows you've been pretty consistent with putting up some good numbers, man.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
that experience in terms of playing junior hockey near home like that, because so many kids nowadays sometimes still have to travel a lot. There's 4 hour drives, or they have to move to a different part of the country. But being able to play in California and play your junior hockey there, what was that experience like, and how have you seen hockey continue to grow in California?
Oh, it's great. Like every year that I've played, I think hockey's gotten bigger and bigger, and it's not a huge surprise anymore when you see a kid from California,
Hmm.
go Division 1 or sign pro. It's starting to become a little bit more normalized, in my opinion. Playing for the Junior Sharks was great. I have lifelong friends. I loved all my coaches. I loved every year that I was there. Um, it was so nice to stay at home too, because what you were saying, a lot of kids, they grow up thinking, oh, you got to go to, the Minnesotas and the Michigans. You got to go to these top programs and do this and do that. But I think if you have the talent and you have the work ethic, it doesn't matter where you play. The Junior Sharks was a great place. I love the program, and I got to stay at home too, and continue to develop, and kind of put my career into my own hands, and not worry so much about the stuff, outside of it, like where I was playing, or if we were going to win a championship, or what tournaments we were going to. I just worked hard and tried to play my best every single game, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, it's definitely worked out now that you can call yourself a pro. And and
Yeah.
and looking at this too, I mean, San Jose being one of those areas decades ago was non-traditional. Now, obviously, traditional with the Sharks and what they've done. So, what got you into hockey? Was it the Sharks, or was it something else that really influenced you to want to play hockey?
It's actually kind of a funny story. So my mom was a den leader for Boy Scouts, and my older brother was he was a Boy Scout. And for a field trip when I was around 4 or 5 years old, they went to a ice skating rink in California, outdoor rink, and my mom brought me along because I was too young to be left home alone, and she put me in skates, and I just had like a natural. I just picked it up right away. It just felt really easy to me. Like it felt like I don't know, kind of second nature. And so that next year, my parents had never played hockey. We're not a hockey family at all. And they did some research, and they're like, okay, like it seems as he has a natural ability for skating. Like, what do we do with that? Is there even a hockey program around here? Do we get him into figure skating? Like, what do we do? And they found the local Junior Sharks program, and then they started me up in there, just in the in-house league. And from there, I just absolutely fell in love with it, and just wanted to play as much as possible. Constantly looking at videos and pictures of hockey players. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and from there, just kind of blossomed into this whole career.
And so, I mean, did you start off as a skater, or did it really go into goaltending, or what interested you more in terms of the goaltending aspect of the game?
Yeah, so I started off as a skater, and when I was playing in-house, each team, they didn't have goalies yet, and so each game a player got to go in the net in their player gear and play goalie. And I remember going in there, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And then that summer, I used to play roller hockey every summer, and there was a team that needed a goalie, and so they just threw me in this other goalie's pads, and I just went in there, and I had an absolute blast. And then that for my birthday, when I was 8 years old, my dad got me my own set of goalie gear, and then yeah, it just took off from there, and I never looked back.
Oh man, that's awesome. And so, growing up, who were some of your goaltending influences that maybe not per se modeled your game after, but you really looked up to, and people that played in net that you really respected as well?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I would say Jim Craig with the 1980
Hmm.
U.S. Olympic team. I used to watch the movie Miracle every single day. I probably have watched that movie over 100 times. I'd watch that movie in the morning, and then I'd go outside and practice and play street hockey all day long, like with my brothers or by myself. It's just like my favorite movie. So I was always looking up to him and the performance he put on in that movie. And then Evgeny Nabokov obviously played with the
Hmm.
Sharks, pretty much the entire time that I was growing up. So I was always watching him and going to Sharks games. And yeah, I just thought they were both great.
Oh yeah, Miracle. That I can quote the entire movie, man. it's,
Oh yeah, it's a
it's
great
one of
movie.
those. So, and looking at this too, and your size, and kind of getting into the part of being a goaltender and everything too, and utilizing your size. And we've seen with Pekka Rinne with the Predators and being just very athletic and flexible and everything. What are some things in terms of like a self scouting report that you think really helps you stand out, and how you utilize your size to be successful in net?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit rare to see, someone with my size. It's similar to a Pecorino situation. I think I skate really well. I think I'm quick. I'm very mobile. And I think it's pretty rare to find a goalie who, is around 6'4", 6'5", that has those attributes as well, and it doesn't look uncoordinated, isn't very blocky, is still able to remain athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I asked David Poyle about you and his media availability the other day, and what they thought about bringing you on, and they said they've been looking at you for a couple of years, and being really interested in you. How does that make you feel, just to know that you've had an organization that's really kind of been tracking your game, and being interested in you, and also referencing Pecorine and saying that they think they found somebody that has that height, but also very mobile and flexible to kind of put you on comparison with those types of levels for the organization?
Yeah, that's great. I love to hear that. Pecorine is a goalie that I've tried to model my game off of. He's someone that I've looked up to for a long time and one of my favorite goalies to watch. So to hear them say that, it means the world to me.
And before we have to go, it's one of those things that's always fun to learn, because goaltenders are always a unique specimen, and especially when it comes to like pre-game and during game things like that. What's one of those things on game days? What's your game day ritual that you always have before a game?
Oh man, game day ritual. I do. I look at these like weird cards with a bunch of numbers and symbols and letters on it, and I use to like get my eyes ready for the game. And my teammates always make fun of me because it looks like I'm just like staring at a piece of paper for like 15, 20 minutes, but I'm actually doing all these random eye exercises. But to anyone looking from the outside, they're like, "What is he doing? This guy looks like he's insane." But other than that, it's a pretty basic routine. I like to look at like memes and other funny things to lighten up the mood, and not be so serious or stressed out about things right before. We'll have like a sandwich, get a stretch in. But yeah, pretty basic pre-game routine, I'd say.
No, no, that makes sense. I can only imagine the looks on their faces staring at the cards, like that. And the last question, it's one of those things I find interesting just to talk to goaltenders about this, because we've seen the evolution of the game, and depending on situations, utilizing different positions. So, just your take in terms of the RVH and the VH, in terms of what you tend to utilize more, and how you've seen the game evolve, and in terms of how you think that helps you be more prepared, whichever way that you decide to go, whether it's RVH or VH, into certain game situations. So, just kind of your take on those two different ways to approach the game.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's obviously a really hot topic right now
Mm-hmm.
with goaltenders, and I think the best way to look at it is you should never use it, as a save selection or just, as a blocking mode. You should, have a plan for, say if a player is, below the circle and they're within like 2 feet of you, what are you going to do if they're, 15 feet away from you? Like, what are you going to do? And I think a lot of goalies have it in their head where they have to do this every single time, no matter what the situation is. And I think that's the wrong way to go about it, because a lot of people are acting a lot like robots, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't really act like that. You have to be active, and you have to, it's a game time decision. You got to be able to make a save without really thinking about it. And so if some guy's coming down and you have an instinct that, okay, like I don't want to give up like this top side, and I feel like he's going to shoot it up high, then, you got to be able to not just go straight into an RVH. You got to be able to use a VH too. And maybe sometimes you stand up, and I think you just got to be reactive, and you got to be able to evolve and change with the game. You can't just go in with, I'm going to do this every single time, because, sometimes it's going to be different. You're going to get beat because of it.
That's a great way to look at it, and you can obviously tell you're a student of the game with that answer there, Devin.
Thank you.
Well, Devin, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. Welcome to the Nashville organization. Looking forward to seeing you play, and hopefully the very near future as well. So yeah, welcome, and thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.